Welcome to the Local Pundit. I'm Josh Anthony. This is your Wrexham reaction for match day 14. Bradford City versus Wrexham AFC. 1-1 draw. Could have come on and said, hey, it's 2 drop points, but we'll take the point and we'll run with it because that was a food fight of a game. I mean, an absolute food fight. No one can get on the ball. So let's dive into it. It was away at the University of Bradford Stadium. At attendance with 21,525, 2,600 traveling Wrexham fans. So congratulations to that. This game was crazy. Crazy for 1-1. It was a 0-0 for a long time. Let's dive into it. Also, just want to put a shout out to Sir Bobby Charlton, who just passed away. Legend of the game, legend of Manchester United. So just wanted condolences to his family and everyone out there that is associated with Manchester United. So, on that, let's get into the game. This is a Wrexham reaction. Let's do that. So, League 2, match day 14th, like we said, there were some changes made. Parkinson went 3-5-2 as he does. We're going to dive into it. This is also Parkinson's return to Bradford City, so big game for him. I wanted to say something about the stadium and the fans. Before we dive into the match and into the changes, that stadium was rocking for 98 minutes. 98 minutes, it was going off. What an impressive display! League 2. The Wrexham fans were shouting, and the Bradford fans were all over it. I would say maybe some dodgy refereeing decisions throughout. I thought that there could have been a penalty here or there. Could have been a handball toward the end with Wrexham as well. So but hey, no VAR, so no one's going to complain about that. I'd rather have no VAR than VAR. But anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so Parkinson goes 3-5-2. Okonkwo, O'Connor, McLean, and Barnett on the wing. Barnett did return on the wing. I thought he played really well today. I thought he was really aggressive going on that right side. McLean on the left, Evans, Lee, and Jones, and Paul Mullen and Fletcher were up front. And Fletcher started up front, and on the bench we had Palmer, Tozer, Davies, and Mendy. And I thought that also Tunnicliffe was at the back as well, so I didn't say that. So I thought it was kind of a ballsy move to start Fletcher. I wanted to see him start a game. He's always been coming on as the impact player. So I did want to see what him and Mullen could do up front, and I thought they did really well. I thought it was a good big and little, although that's what, Palmer does the same thing. But Fletcher's a little bit more, I'd say, aggressive. I think he has a little bit more bite to his game than Palmer, although when Palmer did come on later on in the match, he did have an impact for sure. But I would say coming into a match like this, as I mentioned, coming in is a food fight of a game, absolute food fight. No one can get on the ball. Although possession wise, looked like Bradford had 56% and Wrexham had 44%, and 21 shots on goal for Bradford City and only 8 for Wrexham. So, I mean, this game was all over the place. But that said, Fletcher did start up front. Tunnicliffe was also started. Tozer did come back on the bench. And, right off the bat, you could see this game was going to be – you could see this game was going to have a bite to it. It was a sloppy game. The midfield was not sharp on either side of the ball. Right off the bat, Mullen, second minute, who did captain the side again, he gets a yellow card for a typical striker's challenge. I don't know if it was technically should have been a yellow. He could have had a stern warning, but it was a sloppy challenge. And I thought that, okay, fine. This is gonna hinder him for the rest of the match, but it really didn't. Mullen still put himself about, still dropped back in midfield a little bit to help out with Lee and Evans, and Jones, which I thought was pretty good. But going into that, it was a proper football match. People just going in and diving in, and like I said, Mullen gets a yellow card up front. That, like I said, a striker's challenge. At that point, about 4 or 5 minutes in, we're listening to I Follow, and Mark Griffiths is yelling at fans to sit down in front of him, which I thought was pretty funny. So shout out to the commentary there. It's pretty good. But as I mentioned, Barnett came back in the side, which I thought was great. He was really lively on the ball. I thought he was our best player in the first half. Amongst all the chaos, he was getting out wide, getting balls in, taking on the defender, seeing what he can do. I really felt like he was helping getting that ball forward because the midfield just kept giving the ball away. No solid, 1, 2, 3 passes. Couldn't get on the ball. And I also thought, while in that first half, I thought O'Connell was really big. I thought his head was on every ball that came in. And I thought he did a really great job. And in fact, he was my man of the match as well. And if Barnett probably stayed on, I probably would have given it to Barnett. But O'Connell was my man of the match in this messy game. 14 minutes in, Fletcher in the box. How he goes in, he's taken on 2 defenders, stays up, which is great on him. But I thought should have been a penalty for Wrexham at the time right there. He's holding off 2 defenders, trying to stay up. He got clipped first, tried to step and went down. I thought we should have had a penalty right there in that first 14 minutes. And then, in the 17 minutes, Mullen was driving and he misses a great opportunity header. He was driving in the middle, kicks it out to Barnett, cross in, diving header, misses it. It was just a close header. And you think like he could put that into the angle I had on my camera watching on the iFollow. I thought, that cross coming from Barnett, his diving header from Mullen, could have been it. So we had some chances up front, kind of unlucky, I would say. And even though that was a hard, I'd say header that Mullen tried to put in off that cross, we could have been up. But again, scrappy game. It was end to end. Ball was being given away. Look, I have my notes here. It's action, 21 minutes in, proper tackle. It was a meaty game. People were getting in on each other, which I thought was great. And the crowd loved it. It just, at that time right there, about 22, 21 minutes in, O'Connell gave the ball away because Bradford were pressing up really high, really high. And Okonkwo made a great save after we lost the ball. But then O'Connell at the back was being pressed. And they were, Bradford were pressing up front. It was, there was gen press coming in there. They had a new coach come in too. So Mark Hughes was there at the start of the season. He just got let go. So Kevin McDonald, actually 34 years old, came and has been managing the side. So he's got young legs, energetic in there. Wanted to really put his name out there, which is really good, taking over from Mark Hughes. So on that note, for Bradford City, just anyways, on that note, like I said, nobody can get a hold of the game. James Jones had a yellow card, another lunging tackle, which for me, he just slid. I don't even think he touched the defender, but at the time, this is when I think the referee kind of lost control of the game a little bit. He didn't touch him. It looked bad, but James Jones did not touch him. So I mean, he did come out of the screen and come in and slide, but I don't think he touched the defender. He sold it really well. Yellow card for them. And again, with all the pressing that was going on, the ball being slapped around in midfield, no one be able to put their foot on the ball, which I thought that, Lee was everywhere. But the only person I thought that really puts their foot on the ball a little bit here and there to get some some possession was George Evans. Although I didn't think he had his best game in the side yet, but I thought that when we tried to slow it down in that first half and get some possession, George Evans did sit on the ball a little bit and try to just get a little bit more possession, which is what I think we did. And then finally, it's for me, I just felt like we just couldn't really get a hold of that game. Let's see here. Okay, when where are we at? 39 minutes in here. 39 minutes in here. I have Evans put a shirt up. Yeah, Evans did put a shift in midfield. That's where it's getting to too. But like I said, I didn't think he had his best game. But I also like I said, I wanted to see him. Get on the ball a little bit more. And Lee kind of was pressing, but we just couldn't get that. We couldn't get that bite in, and we were going down the right side most of the time. Whenever we did get it right side, McLean was not in the game at all. But going into halftime, it was 0-0. And this is when, at the time of the match, this is when we heard the news about Bobby Charlton. So I have that written in my notes here. Going in, second half, no changes made. 47 minutes in, Wrexham start turning the screw, picking up the pace a little bit. Picking up the pace. I thought Mullen, we was dropping back in midfield, trying to get that ball to move it forward. It was on a knife edge at this point. Knife edge. People are diving into tackles here. And like I said, I thought that it would have been good for us to get on the ball a little bit. But like I said, body flying everywhere. Okonkwo was doing really good at the back, made a really great save. O'Connell, again, was getting his toe on the ball and his head everywhere. And it comes 68 minutes in, Barnett to Mullen. What a goal. And Superman took his cape and he flew and anyway, 1-0, really great. Jones, Barnett to Mullen. I think Barnett, we missed him with his crosses getting it in the box, and finally, Mullen does what he does, and Super Mullen puts it in, which is great. Puts us up 1-0. At that time, going in about 70 minutes in, Barnet were still coming. They didn't have any quit in them, much like Wrexham always do. I thought that Bradford City were doing really well, and there was no way we're going down 1-0. That's not great. So they were fighting for it, and I got to say that the fans, the home fans, were behind them, which is great, and it made for a great match. At the time, I thought that okay, it was probably coming. We did turn the screw at the first after in the first part of it, and when we did score, but then also after we did score, it was like I could feel it coming. Bradford City were really stepping up their game. It was a wild game. Let me see. Here we go. 81 minutes in, Jacob Mendy comes on for Ryan Barnett. I thought he did well, but then Mendy comes in, and I think coming into a game like this, you got to be ready. You got to be ready. Coming off the bench, you're a little cold here and there. You got to be ready, and this is what happens. Mendy tries to toe a ball out. He should have just cleared it. The Bradford City player, I think it was who scored the goal, Adam Wilson, just out-muscled him. He'd just come on, number 33 had just come on, just out-muscled him. Mendy goes to the ground, and he just wasn't ready for the energy in the game. The game, was frantic, and he seemed a little slow and off the pace, even though he did come in, for defensive reasons. I thought that he didn't play great at the time. But anyways, he tries to toe the ball. Mendy tries to toe the ball. Adam Wilson comes off left-footed, takes a shot, gets blocked, has a second crack at it, boom, goes in, and it's 1-1. And 1-1, and at the time I was like, oh, shoot, here we go. But I thought we could come back. Elliot Lee came off, Jordan Davies came on. Lee did put a good shift in. He was probably my second for man of the match, even though I thought it was O'Connell. But he did, he did well. So going in, we had 8 extra minutes. And in those extra minutes, I thought McLean finally got on the ball and was starting to get some balls in the box. But at the time, it was just like it wasn't too late because you never know with this team. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. It was just back and forth, like I said, and just a proper food fight of a game. And if you're a negative fan, if you're a negative supporter, you say it's 2 drop points. And I was actually watching a watch along on another channel, and it was really supportive. But I'd say Bradford did go close. Konku made some really good saves. To be fair to Bradford City, 96th minute in, we could have had a handball, and it could have been a penalty. So, and anything happened in Penn we could have been down 2-1. But 8 minutes, which was long. But hey, in these times, with all the changes that are happening and what's going on with the refs, they didn't call it, and there's no VAR. I thought Bradford City showed real spirit. I thought we showed spirit as well, although I think that we were, a little bit lacking in that second half. And it is what it is. And we went in 1-1, and we'll take those points. We'll take those points back. And we have a game on Tuesday coming up. Game on Tuesday is coming up against, where is it here? Let's see if I have it up here. I do not. Yeah. Okay. Tuesday, Sutton United. Tuesday, a Sutton United game. It's a regular season game. Sutton United are 2-1-11. They're not that great. So they're not that great. And let's see where they are on the table. Sutton United are in the basement with 7 points. So, and we going out of this game, we have 24 points. 24 points. We are 5 off the top, which is Stockport County. Stockport County is on top, and we're 5 off. We're in 4th place. And honestly, to be fair, getting a point away in that environment, I think, was good. We obviously want to get those points, but we have a game on Tuesday. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we're at 24 points. We're in 4th place, 5 points off Stockport County. And then to looking at the league here, let's take a look at the league here. So it's Stockport County at 29, Notts County, who did win today, are 27, Crew Alexander 26, and then Wrexham in 4th at 24th. So we're right in the mix, which is where we want to be. Obviously you don't want to drop points, but when you're ahead, and in that game, it was a proper food fight. So, all right, that is your Wrexham reaction. Everyone have a great Saturday. We'll talk soon. See you on Tuesday.